Hi guys, I'm Gigi and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about some things that I've been struggling with during isolation and share some tips that have been helpful to me in dealing with those things. Before we get started, I just want to put a quick disclaimer out there that I know there are people in far worse situations out there dealing with much harder things. This is obviously not a video to address that or cover that. These are just things that I've been going through and experiences that I've had, and these tips are just things that I found helpful in coping. That being said, if you are dealing with some similar things, I hope that these tips are helpful to you. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with mental health. I was feeling a lot of stress and anxiety, thinking what's going to happen, and I was feeling this overarching sense of impending doom. That was because I was watching the news a lot, like constantly. I was reading every article that I saw come out, kind of going down this rabbit hole of reading about it, reading all the updates, every single thing that I could find. And that made me feel really helpless. So tip number one is stay informed, but avoid the news and going online too much. So by that I mean definitely be informed about the latest policies and guidelines in place that you should be following to keep yourself and your family safe. Don't fall into the rabbit hole of constantly watching the news and constantly reading about what's happening. It's important to stay informed, but don't let that be everything that you think about. Try not to think about it 24/7. On that, it's really important to practice letting go. There's actually a free/by donation yoga subscription by Irene Lowe. It's practicing letting go and non-attachment. It's a weekly 20 to 30 minute vinyasa flow. If that's something you guys are interested in and it might be helpful to you, then I'll link it down below, so definitely check it out. So tip number two comes from the stress and mental toll that comes with being quarantined with your family or a roommate. And I know some of you guys are living alone, and that comes with its own struggles, which I'll get to in a moment. But first I want to talk about this because, we're well into quarantine now. It's been over a month and we're almost into month two, at least here in Canada. We're well into quarantine now, and I find that I'm getting very irritated at the littlest things. Brings me to tip number two. Create a sanctuary space for yourself. So for me, that's my bedroom. It's a space where I can completely relax and let go of everything that's going on outside of my bedroom. Make it as comfortable for yourself as you can. For me, I like to completely declutter and reorganize things in a way that brings me calmness and peace of mind. I like to light candles and create a really peaceful atmosphere. I think the candles really add that little extra touch of relaxation, so I highly recommend. If something sets you off outside, change how you're reacting to things. At first I was getting very irritated and picking arguments, but I've found that by just avoiding stressors and coming into my sanctuary space when I'm feeling those things really helps me to kind of calm down and process my thoughts, and then sort of think about things and do things that make me feel better, like reading or listening to a podcast or whatever that might be for you. Alright, for those of you guys that are living alone, this is not something that I have first-hand experience with, but I know a few people that are dealing with this and feeling a really strong sense of loneliness. So for that, tip number three would be to be alone together. I highly recommend FaceTiming, house party, Zoom, whatever it is, and connecting with people as much as you can and as much as you want to. Check in on each other, talk about how you're feeling, talk about the good and the bad. I find that verbalizing things that I'm feeling really helps me to relieve some of the stress and some of the anxiety about it. And then, speaking to other people that might be feeling similar things can help you feel less alone. And if you don't feel like talking to people, another thing that is helpful is putting on a TV show or a podcast or a YouTube video and letting it just run in the background while you do your day-to-day. Having some people just kind of talking can definitely make your space feel lively and make you feel like you're not alone, and maybe make you feel like there's stuff going on while you do everything that you would normally do. Also, try to look at it as an opportunity to spend time with yourself, learn about yourself, discover things that make you happy. I don't want to say opportunity because I know it's obviously not ideal. I don't want to make light of anything, but if you just use this time to learn about yourself, discover things that make you happy, and then try to do those things. Let me clarify. Discover things that make you happy that you can do alone and then try to do those things as much as you can. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is boredom / stress, eating, and weight gain. I know a lot of people have been struggling with this. I know I definitely have been. So what I want to highlight with tip number 4 is that it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. It's a weird and stressful time. It's okay to eat those snacks. It's okay to indulge once in a while. It's okay to put on a little weight. Whatever happens, happens, and you will bounce back. I'm a strong believer in eating whatever you want and when you want. However, that being said, it is important to know if you're actually hungry or you're just coping. And if it is the latter, I think it's important to find other ways to deal with it. So that brings me into tip 5 is keep busy. Find hobbies, reading, painting, coloring, walking, knitting, whatever it is that you find enjoyment in, do it. Something that I like to do is when I feel like snacking, I know I'm not really hungry and I just feel like having a snack, I'll do something like paint my nails, which one takes a really long time and two distracts me, and then as I'm painting them or after I'm painting them, I'm not really in the mood to even snack anymore because I've occupied my mind. That being said, if I am actually hungry, I will eat. So tip number 6, cook your own meals. So this is a big one. You definitely have the time. There's so many healthy recipes online. Learn to cook things that you like to eat and learn to make them in a healthier way, or even bake treats that you like to eat. Healthier versions of those treats is a great way to still eat what you want, but not feel so gross and sluggish after eating it. I like to make pizza, burgers, pancakes, healthier versions of those things. Everybody's baking banana bread right now, but you can make it in a way that it's not super sugary and it's not gonna make you feel really gross. I know that when I eat really bad, I tend to feel really bad. So that's why I like to make my own, especially now. Still indulge in things that you want to eat, but more filling versions of it. The next thing we'll talk about is feeling like every day is the same. I was finding that the days sort of blended in together. Every day felt the same. I just kind of felt like what am I doing? I don't even know how to word how I was feeling because it was just kind of like, what? Do you get it? But basically, what I did to help differentiate my days was putting structure and routine into my days. I find that when I have sort of a general routine, I know what I'm going to do throughout the day, so it definitely helps me to avoid that whole staying in bed all morning, wondering what am I going to do today. For example, when I wake up, I will eat my breakfast, take my dog for a walk, come home, maybe read a book, scroll through TikTok, make a TikTok, everybody's doing that now, exercise, call my friends, cook lunch. Very loose guideline, but it does give me some sort of structure throughout my day, and it makes me feel like actually doing things rather than feeling like I'm stuck at home. And another thing that I like to do is I like to have a bit more structure to my Monday through Friday and loosely structured weekends, and then the weekend actually feels more like a weekend. If I want to laze around, I don't feel as bad about it because I'm like, okay, I've done all these things that I wanted to do throughout the week, and now if I want to have a day where I literally do nothing, I don't feel bad about it because it's not every day, and I don't fall into that pattern of I'm so bored and don't start thinking about all the negative things. Instead, it just becomes a day of relaxation. If you're still working from home, I want to share some tips, because when I first started working from home every day, I felt like I was always at work. Even when I was off work, I could not leave. What I did was I created a designated workspace, and I would use that space only for work. I would get ready for work, not to the extent of actually going into the office, but I would change out of my pajamas or sweats or whatever, put on presentable clothing, pants and a shirt, and then do my day at work. And once I'd be off work, I would change out of those clothes, and that really helped me to separate between work mode and relax mode. Another thing is I found that when I work from home, I tend to just work and not take breaks and tend to overwork myself, and that's very mentally draining. So I think putting restrictions for yourself is really important, setting designated break times. I started doing a walk at the lunch hour, and I found that was really helpful in breaking up my day. But do whatever makes you happy. And then once you're off work, if you're able to just turn off, go offline, don't check your emails, unwind from the day. Once I'd be off work, I like to call my friends, check in on them, see how they're doing, just, chit chat, and then eat dinner, go into my sanctuary space, light a candle, set the mood, read a book, and just really relax. It made a world of a difference, and I didn't feel like I was always at work. So when you get off work, be off work. Okay, last and final and maybe most important tip. I don't know what number we're on. I think it's 9. Number 9 is don't put pressure on yourself to do anything. I'm seeing a lot of stuff online about how now is the time to do everything you've always wanted to do, to start a new business, to get in the best shape of your life, to achieve all your goals. If you want to do that and you have the energy to do that, go for it. Do it. That's so great. You do have the time to do it, so that's wonderful. But if you don't want to do that right now or feel like you mentally have the energy to do it, that's okay. Don't force yourself. As I said before, this is a very, very stressful time and we're all coping in different ways. And you shouldn't put pressure on yourself to do anything. Your mental health should come first. If you do anything, it should be things that make you happy. Try to focus on what's going to make you happy and do that. Okay, well that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that some of these tips were helpful to you and help you feel better throughout this situation. Please let me know in the comments below if they were. And also let me know if there are things that you do that you find really helpful. I'd love to know. Thanks so much. Bye!